There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. We can roll the image, make it flutter. We can change the focus to a soft blur, or sharpen it to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your television set. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to...
Good evening, everyone. Listen, what's going on here? Where's my Jarvis? Good evening, everyone, to the midnight show. Mick and Jarvis in the house. But where's me Jarvis? And why am I wearing this shady sunglasses? Well, yeah, I was just thinking, guys, like like that song, Are We Blinded by the Light? So that's the thing, right? Are we delusional? Is there any chance that Man United can turn this around? Like, you got to believe. And like that song with Pink, got to get up and try. And this is kind of, ooh, I'm blinded by the light and I can see United turning around. Maybe I should stop singing and take this off, guys. Anyway, welcome. Big up. While I'm waiting for Jarvis, how you all doing? How do you feel to be a Man United supporter today? It's international break, of course. We're not going to talk about the sensational media stories because nobody really knows. Nobody has a Scooby-Doo. And apparently it looks like Ten Hag's going to be staying, but there's no statement coming out. And never it's going to be a statement. It was all media-driven. We didn't see anything from Ornstein. We didn't see anything from Fabrizio, the credible sources. But we saw a lot of Twitter warriors tweeting it out and saying sacked. And I saw Alice Talk Football, my colleague and friend, also calling one out called Ross something to say you're a pathetical liar. So, anyway, guys, we're not here to talk about that stupid gash. We are here to move on because as a club, we got to believe because we're here for Man United. 100% we are. No matter what, if you love the manager, hate the Glazers, I fucking hate, sorry. Did I just say that? I bloody hate the Glazers, to be honest. Can't stand them. Never did. You know what they did to the club. But in a certain ways, we got to believe. We got to back this team because this is our love, right? You can divorce your wife. You can divorce your girlfriend. You can divorce your best friend. But you can't divorce your club. We're in it to win it. And can we tweak it to, tweak it to whatever it was, Mick. Where's me Jarvis? I'm nervous. What happened to Jarvis? Anyway, big up everyone for coming in raw here. Who is in the house? Let me see. Jamie Wine. Anyone here? I don't know. Where's Jarvis? Jamie, I'm here, but where's Jarvis? You're here. Lol, yeah. Big up Jarvis as well. Big up to you. We are missing you, Jarvis. Where are you? Missing in action. Should I call missing persons? Jarvis. Hello, what up, Jarvis, Cocker, Mick Ruby, Mufc Realist TV. What up, ITS Timmy in the house? Timmy, it's been a hot minute, Timmy, as well. David Porter, evening all. This is Porter of Doc Green, full of ideas on how to turn around our season. Well, David, the more the merrier, guys. This show is all about you guys. Contribute, post your questions in, and we always do the Q&A section at the end of the show. Just put your question in. Enlighten us, like how do you think we can turn around this season? What needs to be done? Apparently there's some reports coming out that club are not sending away some players on international break, which is good. I think it's good. There's too much football and too much international breaks happening at the moment. It's unbelievable. It's too commercial. And in the middle of a Premier League season, this is the second. We played 7 games in the Premier League, and this is the second international break. And there's another one coming up in 1 month's time. It's just too much of international football, right? It's boring. But while it's boring as well, one thing that we can bank on one thing that we can bank on is to see more gash stories coming out on Twitter from journalists. That is so spot on. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It always happens. It's been doing that for 11 years. You know what I mean? They've been doing it for 11 years. So what's going to cook up now? Anyway, Mark Davis is in the house. What do you say, Mark Davis? Big up, guys. Wait a minute. Wait, big up, guys. I'm a big United fan. If Ineos don't sack Ten Hag, I'm done with them. Ten Hag is not going to change. We will lose the next 7 games. Why are we backing him for, Mark? Mark, valid point. But, as I said, it's your choice, mate. I will never divorce my club. Never, I will always support this club. I will, I always watch every single game. And of course, sometimes when we're down, we think that, this is shit. I'm not going to support it. I'm not going to go to the games and I'm going to watch it. But then we end up watching it anyway because we can't stay away. Simple as that. We can't stay away. And one person that can't stay away either is Jarvis Cocker. Jarvis and I are best friends. Jarvis and I are now... There he is! Hey!
The man of the hour. Sorry, I was a little bit late. My kids, they didn't want to go to bed.
Yeah, Jarvis, are you sure you're not related to Mark?
No,
Mark?
I'm not.
No, you're not?
Well, I got shit to do, It's just the way it is.
Hey, we are back in the saddle.
Yes, we are. We are
the original Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah,
how are you doing?
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, man.
It's been a while since we did a stream together.
It's been a while. Yeah, 100%. It's been a while. Look, I thought about something. I cooked up a storm today. Me and Jarvis were cooking up a 5-course meal, including dessert. And I have some brilliant content for you today, which we're going to talk about. But of course, you guys are the content. So the more the merrier, the more questions you put in, the more interaction we will have as well. So David Porter is in the house as well. Saying,
yes, big up,
evening,
David,
this is Porter Doc Green, full of ideas how to turn this team around. And he mentioned that before. And Mark Davis was saying, big up guys, like he if they don't sack Ten Hag, he will stop watching United. Is it that bad, Jarvis? Is it really bad?
What do you say again? My computer is just starting up, so I have hundreds of pop-ups coming up, and
Oh, I love the pop-ups, but
yeah.
They're annoying as hell. Mark Davis comes in to say, big up, guys. I'm a big United fan. If Ineos don't sack Ten Hag, I'm done with this with them. Ten Hag is not going to change. We will lose the next 7 games. Why are they backing him for? Mark. Right, so everyone
Mark.
Where's the wisdom? Where's the wisdom, Jarvis?
The thing is, we have this so much doom and gloom at the moment, and people talk uncertainties about the future. They don't know the future. Things can turn around. We can start winning again. We never know. And but don't get yourself down believing everything you hear. People are so sure that Ten Hag was going to be sacked yesterday. He's still in the job. Everybody was sure we're going to get knocked out by Aston Villa 5-0 because we have been terrible. Everybody said we was going to lose against Porto, but there's some spirit in this team and there's good players in there, Ten Hag or not. We have good players. We can win this. We can win the next game against Brentford. We can win the game after. Have some faith.
Yeah.
Support the team.
Tweak it to peak it. Tweak it to peak it, Jarvis. That's it, right? I mean, I'm
not trying to be like toxic positive. I'm not a blind believer in everything that's going on at the moment.
No.
But at the end of the day, we all support the club. We want the club to win, and I don't think it's as bad as people try to paint it. It's not. Let's take one game at a time from this season. If you go to the schedule to see Man United this season, we have played. We started the season. We played against. Just gonna find the matches. We played against was the first game? It was Brighton. No, Fulham. We won the first game against Fulham. Brighton game, we were the better team. They scored it in the dying minutes. Shouldn't have lost that game.
Yeah.
The Liverpool game, we lost 3-0. That was bad. That was really bad. But there was personal errors from Casemiro, 2 of the goals. Southampton, we won 3-0. Barnsley, we won 7-0. That's okay. Crystal Palace, 0-0 at home, but we dominated that game. The first half was one of the best halves I've seen from this Man United team, how we set up, how we played. Then we came to the Europa League 20, 1-1. We most likely should have won that game, but it wasn't good. Spurs 3-0, that was a bad game. And Porto 3-3.
Oh, yeah.
3-3. We could have won that game, we could have lost it, we ended it with a draw, but it was an open game. And now the Villa game, Ten Hag, he just shut it down and played really pragmatic just to save a point away. So in a way, we are still in the reaching distance of top 4. I think it's 6 points. We can do this.
6 points, 2 games. 2 games and plenty. Plenty of football to play. Plenty.
Yeah. And the thing is, we are in a better stage than people give us credit for, because we have better players, we have better squad depth, we have better patterns. We don't receive as many shots as we have been doing last season, so there's improvements. We play out better from the back, but we lack in 2 things. We do personal mistakes, and we don't score goals. Mick, how do we fix this? How do we start scoring goals?
I did a brilliant song earlier. Like, I put my shades on and I say, "Ooh, I'm blinded by the light. Now I can see United turning around." Did I get a record deal?
Nah.
Are you signing me up? No.
Okay.
Listen, how do I see it? Jarvis, as per tradition, I have something for you. And everyone in the watching, get your comments in. Smash the living like up. Let's get up to 100 likes minimum, people.
Yes,
it is free.
Yes.
It is absolutely.
Hold it 41 minutes. I will be back.
Yeah, no. What? Damn it, Jarvis. You know what? He's late and now he's leaving. We are sinking. 100% we are sinking. Anyway, how you guys doing? Let's go to the comments. I can see Jamie Wayne is laughing his ass off, like, good afternoon. Alistair Dirk is in the house. Good evening, Mick, and everyone in the chat. John Commode is here as well. Big up, John. It's been a hot minute. How's things over in, was it in Miami he lives, Johnny Commode, yeah. Good evening, all. Hurricane hit Florida tonight. Keep us in our thoughts and prayers. Yes, we will, my friend. We are not in line, but wind and rain is picking up right now. Listen, Jarvis, what can I say? I will add this to the stage. Guys, you know me.
No sound. There's no sound.
No sound?
Yes.
Oh,
no.
Again. I done it again.
You done it again.
I done it again. All right, then. Yeah. Let's go.
Das hier ist mein Sektor. Das hier ist das wichtigste Gerät des Küstenwächters. Das Gerät und das Gerät. Überlebensradar.
Mayday, mayday. Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you... Over. We are sinking. We are sinking.
Hello? This is the German Coast Guard.
We are sinking. We're sinking.
What are you thinking about?
We are sinking. Jarvis, are we sinking? We would definitely be
thinking about. What are you thinking
What are you
about?
thinking? Thomas Tuchel ain't coming. We're not zinking with Thomas Tuchel.
No.
Seriously, guys, are we sinking or are we sink or swim here, guys? Seriously, like I like to crack a little bit of joke, that one. I love that one.
Yeah, it's a good joke. It's a good joke. But I think this is part of the problem. Ten Hag's communication skills. I think he struggles a little bit speaking English. I know myself, it's not that easy all the time, especially when it comes to technical stuff. He can say, "Hey, hello, what's the clock? What time is it?" And stuff like that. But trying to really explain difficult stuff, technical stuff, that's not as easy always when it comes to professional footballers. How do he reach out to them? Do you think that's a problem for Ten Hag?
You can use sign language, right? If you're not performing, everyone knows what that is. You know what I mean? Get out of here. Raus. Aus. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, listen, we spoke off the stream as well, like, yesterday, and I clearly I'm thinking that he's kind of a little bit of an introverted person. He's got his technical tactics already planted up here. He's got his vision. He knows what to do. But the problem is, how do you communicate out to everyone to understand? And that seems to be the problem. And ladies and gentlemen, we have 5 gifted memberships in the middle of what we are thinking about, Jarvis. We have memberships. Wow.
Alistair Dirks coming in with an uppercut.
Really?
Oh my God!
So, Alistair Dirks comes in with 5 gifted memberships, and we have Zeus Diaz. Welcome to the family, Zeus. We have Ashwin as well. Welcome to the family. What you thinking about? We have Dahlia 300, Ryle M, Dino Lewis, and these are the 5 new members. So welcome to the team, guys. Rush Maynard comes in also to say United must be at least club and multiple leagues to actually appoint director of football and other knowledgeable people. Yes, let's continue. I lost my train of thought, Jarvis. We're just winging it to swinging it and tweaking it to I mean, at the end of the day, guys, I said it in the opening stream, you can be in, out, doubt, scream and shout. At the end of the day, we're here because we love this fucking club, right? I said it, you can divorce your wife, girlfriend, your best friend, if I say, screw you, but you don't do that to your club that you sort of grew up learning to love. And every week you watch, and when it's summer, like, you get giddy, you're watching the transfer window and thinking we should improve. But that comes down to the point now that if you, Jarvis, look at the squad that we have right now, I mean, for me personally, my opinion, I think it's good enough to compete, right? We're beginning up to say, we actually have a bench, but how do we actually get the maximum performance out of them?
Yeah, this is one of the problems with Ten Hag, because he's not very flexible when it comes to tactics and setups. I think he has a particular style he wants to play. I think he has an idea of how he want to do it. And he always say, stick to the plan, stick to the game, stick to the plan, stick to the game. We all know Ten Hag. Stick to the plan. And I think it takes away a lot of creativity from the players. I think it's difficult for them because they have the urge, the need to do something else in certain situations, but they feel hindered because Ten Hag tells them, no, you're not doing it this way, you're doing it that way. I think players like, for example, Rashford, he struggles. I think he struggles because he wants to receive the ball, cut in, shoot. You see the same with Anthony, wants to cut in, shoot. But I don't think Ten Hag, that's not Ten Hag's style.
What is his style? I mean, you can have different styles, but style for me is an identity, the way you want to play, right? It's just a system, Racy. So for me, what I'm missing this season is it's too defensively minded. That I think he suffered from last season that we conceded too many shots, too many goals. We were open, gaping hole in the midfield. So now he fixed that, right? He fixed it. But now we're lacking on the scoring because we are too defensive and we are too shackled. And everything, what you said on Jarvis's corner, everything goes through the wings, right? We see him, Rashford driving, taking on three players, crashing into the wall, or putting across into the box and nobody home, right? The same thing goes with Garnacho and everyone else. So there's nothing that we used to have with Anthony Martial when we play through the middle, when 1-2 passes, like the tiki-taka, right? So we don't really penetrate through the middle. Everything goes in the side, on the sidelines, right?
Yeah. It's true. It's true. We struggle. I can just bring it up for you guys if you haven't seen it. I love my tactical board when I have the chance. I'll bring it up.
Now, big up Gas Taylor to say most YouTube channels and all fans wants rinse and repeat. that's what we talked about. You talked about on Nerdin's show yesterday, like, rinse and repeat. We are actually in a phase right now, like, we are in a phase 2, I would say, ground zero with a new proper rebuild. But if you get rid of the manager now, you have to start over again. You mentioned that on Monday, didn't you? Or on
I believe in longevity. That's just me.
Longevity.
Yeah, this is the problem how I see it this season, because we are compact in the middle. We have what we see here is I'll bring this up. I always talk about the square with these guys. They help out each other and they block the center of the pitch, so we don't get run through as much as we used to last season. We have seen bits and glimpses. Yeah, sometimes we open up and play too expensive, but the biggest problem this season, especially we saw against Porto, is this area here behind our winger. So when the opposition overload one side, we struggle. We really struggle because we get overloaded out here.
Yeah,
often 3 against 2, and one of our
left-hand side. Yeah, I agree.
Rashford struggles immensely when it comes to defending. Ten Hag had a solution when we played against Aston Villa. He placed Rashford here in this area.
He cut into the midfield. Yeah, he did that.
Rashford to
that
track
worked.
Back, more compact. He wasn't defending from out here and had to run in or down. He was here just waiting. Compact. We moved as a unit in this area, so we kept the central
sorry,
area.
you're actually the first one that I hear mentioning. I forgot about that because I noticed that Rashford was cutting in to help in the midfield, and he was tracking back.
Did a good job that defensively against Aston Villa. No one gives him credit for that. Positionally, he was at the right place. But you saw his frustration at the end of the game when he almost got a red card. So I don't think it's not in Rashford's nature to play that way. He wants to play on his strengths, and that's pace, to run in behind. He wants to be here, not here. So again, I don't think Rashford is really happy with Ten Hag. You can see it on his body language, and he never truly smiles on the pitch anymore. And yeah, he looks unhappy. He looks like he hates football. And I think it has something to do with Ten Hag. It's just the way it is.
It's interesting because I had a conversation earlier today with Solo from the Man United Agenda, and he said something he heard, and I said I dismissed it straight away because it's international break. You always hear leaks, coming out, but there must be something in that him. Rashford and Ten Hag, they clashed early. Like, there's certainly, I don't think there's any chemistry between them. There is some love-hate since the Belfast incident and everything. Rashford got away with murder, right? There was nothing Ten Hag could do. Like, he was the poster boy and stuff like that. But if you bring up that tactics board again, I want to see. So for me, the problem has also been that we don't have a left-footed fullback. You know what I mean? Left back, right? So Deloy is right-footed. So he's been limited in what he can do, but he's also cutting into the midfield, like exposing the two fullbacks to centre backs alone, right? So there's been many instances where's Deloy? Where's the left back? But also in attack, he's not that potent on the left-hand side. He's most potent on the right. And I think that Rashford missed that partnership of at least Luke Shaw, because Luke Shaw used to always do overlaps, like, work with Rashford, and they got the best out of Rashford. But now we don't see it anymore. We don't see the overlapping. We only see Rashford like taking on 3 defenders and maybe cut inside and fire off a shot, right? So it's a little bit unbalanced. Yeah, so
it is. But Mick, you know why we invert the fullback? It's not because Dalot wants the ball when he's inverted. Because what we do when we try to play out, we usually play out with 3 defenders and Onana helping. So Rashford inverts in this area. That's the area where Dalot. This is where Dalot is. But when Dalot moves in, he occupies one of the midfielders. Mainu is there. He occupies the other midfielder. They usually have the number 10 who are like dropping down, cutting the passing lanes from the center back up to our midfielders, and it opens up space for Eriksen to drift in.
Yeah,
and because when Eriksen receives the ball, because he drops a little bit deeper, he receives the ball, facing goal, and then he can play his style. And we have seen
Right.
Eriksen being really good this season. And it's not only because of Eriksen, it's also because of Dalot. So everybody blaming Dalot, he's useless as an inverted midfielder and stuff like that. He's actually doing a good job for the team. He's sacrificing himself in a way for the better of the team to create space for Eriksen. So this is the main reason why we do this.
Okay. But is there any chance that after the international break that we're actually getting Malaysia back into the team, or getting a proper left-footed, fullback into the team? Apparently it seems to be very close, like with Malaysia and Luke Shaw as well. Do you think it's going to happen after the internationals, like 2 weeks break? They're training. We've seen Malaysia training. We've seen Luke Shaw training. Yeah,
I think Malaysia is very close to a comeback. I hope I will see him on the pitch now in the next couple of games. I think he will be on the bench at least. And my God, Rashford needs help. That's one of the biggest problems. When Dalot comes, the overlap. But the thing with the overlap is when Rashford, let's say Rashford has the ball and the overlap comes, he drags with him the defender and open up space for Rashford. It makes the center back really uncertain. Should the center back drop? Should he stay? Should he try to press?
Yeah.
They usually just stand there and wait and see. Yeah. And then when Rashford has pace, it's very hard to stop him. He cuts down and cuts in and try to shoot. So this is Rashford's game, but he needs the help from the overlap.
Yeah, 100%. Do you agree what Nicholas is saying here? Lack of natural left-footed left back has affected the Butcher's form as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. And Leach is always put under pressure because when he plays the ball to Dalot usually receives it on the left, so it's hard for him to get the right passing angles. So the ball goes back to Leach again, and then Leach, okay, what you got to do is send it right.
Big ups to Wally.
Yes,
my brother.
Stu. Big ups.
How you doing? Good to see. Can you bring that up again? Because I have one more thing. Can you bring it? I love your tactics board. Listen, my way of thinking. Do you think that Manuel Ugarte was a club signing or was it Ten Hag signing?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a trick question.
We have been screaming for a defensive midfielder. We all knew that Casemiro wasn't good enough. He was kind of losing his legs. We saw it in the second half of last season. He wasn't good enough when he came back from injury. We struggled. I think it was a structural issue as much as Casemiro's problem because we had this open big gap in the central of the midfield. Yeah. It's here because we overcommitted going forward with people. Everybody's going forward, and even the fullback. So when we lost the ball because we don't cherish possession, the opposition could just receive the ball and run with it.
Hang it up. Yeah, true.
We have one guy defending all of this area by himself. So he was exposed. But Ugarte won't do any better if we play like this. But we don't do that this season. So I think the working conditions for Casemiro is much better.
Why do you think he, okay, we got him late in the window and we negotiated, and he came at the very end of the transfer window. He played one full 90 minutes and then we haven't seen him anymore. I was a little bit shocked, to be honest, because the way I see it, to tweak it, could be, my vision is to play like Ugarte as a single pivot, right? Because he can do it. Because the fullbacks can push up, but you need to have pacey, centre backs. You need to have Lenny Euro come back in as well. But the reason why we're not scoring goals is because everyone is on defensive duty. Kobe Mainoo is run to the ground. It looks like he's absolutely knackered, right? And I don't want us to play the kid to the ground. This kid needs a rest. He needs to be developed, right? He's not ready.
I think he also plays through injuries, niggles. I don't think he's 100% fit. To be fair, no.
But hear me out. What I'm trying to say here. So the reason why I think we're not scoring goals because it's the defensive duties. Like we've been told to press up, high up on the pitch. Ugarte was brought in to be the ball winner, even high up on the pitch to break up the play that what Fred used to do. But now we don't do that, right? So now we play with the two kind of like Kobe and Ericsson playing deeper, even Bruno playing deeper, defending. And that is why we're not creating any chances, according to my opinion. Now, hear me out. What I'm trying to say is that if you have Manuel Ugarte sitting there by himself, backed up by De Ligt and Licha or Lenny Yoro, there's no need to play a double pivot, double pivot. So my point is that you play Ugarte there and you have two number 8s. Creative number 8s, and that could be Christian Eriksen. He's very creative. Doesn't need to have a lot of legs there, but Bruno is definitely the one that will instigate the press, right? So if you have those two creators, all of a sudden you have a little bit of a tiki-taka in the middle as well. They can sort of spray the ball, or even a Xerxes can play there, So that kind of that struck my mind that Bruno. I know what people are saying, Bruno, he looks knackered as well, but I think that he's been told to be more defensive and disciplined, not to sort of be. I mean, he's not up to his form. He's not scoring. He's not creating a lot of chances for people anymore because he's on defensive duties, right? So I think that Ten Hag needs to tweak it. Apparently, he's in Ibiza. I think that he needs to think about how should we attack, because Manchester United has been always attack, right? Unless he was on the Jose Mourinho area, it was just pragmatic defense, right? But the ball possession is in all glory, like have possession, but possession doesn't win you football, right? It doesn't win you games. Scoring wins you games, right? Yeah, if you don't concede, great, you keep a clean sheet. But if you don't score, you don't win either. So right now we're not really scoring a lot of goals, right? First season under Ten Hag was pretty much free-flowing, the same. Second season, he changed to his way, like 4-2-3-1, try to implement that, stick to it, even through injuries. No, if I change it, then I lose it forever. So I keep sticking to the same principle.
He said so, didn't he, in the interview?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. But now you've got all the players in there. Why are you not then utilizing? Is it that because they're not ready? Is it down to Ineos also being at fault because they negotiated to the end of the transfer window, which cost us the beginning of the Premier League? Doubtful. Yeah, it could be so as well, because De Ligt didn't get. When did De Ligt get his full 90 minutes? It was 3 games ago.
Yeah.
Same with Ugarte.
Yeah, it's early days, it's way too soon to judge. We don't know what they're good for yet. We haven't seen much.
So lessons to be learned for next season. Now with this new regime in here, of course, everyone is getting warm in. For crying out loud, everyone is new. Everyone is new. You have Omar Brothers new. He just started in the summer. You have Dan Ashworth.
3 months.
Wilcox.
3 months he's been in the job.
Yeah. And then you have Van Nistelrooy new. René Hankin new. New set pieces course new. New medical stuff. Everything is new. Right, so of course everyone is a little bit lost, in my opinion, right? But that is part of the process. You got to be a little bit lost. But realism is what we say. 14th in the league, 8 points out of 7. That's what people are reacting on. But what you said earlier, it is too early to look at the table. Too early. Because there's so much football to play. And when you're actually being more realistic to look at it, there's actually 2 games to catch up to reach top 4. So therefore, after the international break, they need to get on the bike, win every game. And we do have winnable games up to Christmas.
We do. We have a lot of winnable games, and we need to go on a run. We need to go on a winning run and a winning streak and start winning games. But everything will be fixed. Let's say if we at least can do 3-4 in a row, I think we will be good in a reach for top 4. As you have seen, you saw last round Chelsea drawing, Spurs, Aston Villa, everybody dropped points. Oh, Stu.
Yeah, he agrees what you say. You always need a single pivot, as this opens up the space between the centre-back pairing and the CDM, meaning Ugarte can receive deep and will allow him to tad more traveling distance with the ball. 100%. That's what he does. And you have Toby Collier there as well. We have also from Cat. Big up, Cat. Do you think Ten Hag and the players will make the time to reflect on the poor performances and come back determined to right the ship? Jarvis.
Yeah, it's a good question. Kat always brings very interesting and difficult questions.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so big up, Kat. Yeah, reflect. I don't know. You know, you can learn by your mistakes and try to bring with you what you did well and stuff like that. But I think you always have to look forward. Next game in football is always next game. So,
But
yeah.
even in personal life, like, I always said that self-reflection is what you need to do, right? If you don't self-reflect and be your worst critics, then you're never going to learn and improve, right? That's what you call performance management. I don't know. I'm kind of like, every time before I go to sleep, I always think to myself, and this is like, it's so easy to say, what 5 positive things did I do today? Positives are so easy to like pinpoint, oh yeah, this. But when you're being self-critical to say, what 5 negative things did I do today? You struggle because you have your own ego. Like, there's nothing wrong with me. You know what I mean? But once you start to sort of pinpoint that and master that, then it's kind of like self-improvement, And Ten Hag needs to look himself in the mirror to say, look, I have analytics, I have video tools, right? It's like you, Jarvis, you got a mechanic shop. You own a mechanic shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do? Yeah,
Yep.
you do. So
Yep.
when customers comes to you, you have modern technology nowadays, right?
Yes.
It's like, yeah, there's something wrong with my car, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a Norwegian English, yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, what's the first thing you do? You roll the car into the garage, you plug in that little computer box for diagnostics. True?
100%.
And the data comes out to say, well, yeah, you have something wrong with your transponder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to fix it. So if you don't take your advice and repair it, you will still run the same car down the Norwegian freeway and eventually crash and burn, right? So same thing goes with football. Like, he's got all the video analysis, he's got all the tools and equipment. They all sit with the iPad. So why don't we fix it? Take the players to say, like, you listen here, come here. Like Nuruddin was saying, sports psychologist, this is what you did wrong, right? Yeah, this is what you did wrong. I will take you out to the pitch, right? And I will drill. Hey, Bruno, come here. Phil Jones, come back. Lay the cones, right?
Yeah.
And just drill until it's there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nuruddin talked about that yesterday, and yeah, I think that's the way, but drilling, you should do that when you're 8, 10, 12. When you're 19, 22, 25, you should know this by hand.
Yay!
Basics, but it's just me. But going on that car, what do you call it? Analogy.
Diagnostics. Transponder.
Car analogy. When it comes to cars, there's always, everybody knows one guy who knows something about cars. He used to own a Volvo in the 80s or 90s. He has some tools home in his garage, and he knows everything about cars.
Yeah.
It's like a world champion of cars.
That guy.
Yeah. And they come to the garage and say, this is what's wrong with this car. You have to fix it. Well, shouldn't we go and to do the diagnostics first and let the mechanic check it first? No, I know. So the analogy is that guy is us. We are the fans. We act like we know stuff because we used to play football in the 90s or in the 2000s, and we see football on TV, and we think we know better than the guys who actually work 24/7 with high-tech technology, the best players in the world, the best training facilities, and actually knows football. And we sit here like freaking amateurs, pointing out everything they're doing wrong, shouting, and acting like we know the future. So I think this is a big problem.
Well, I will even spin it further to say, like, please don't kill me, guys. Like, my mind is always sinking what you're thinking about. I think the biggest threat of the club at the moment is the media, and 90% of them that keeps writing about United are not even fans, right? They just love it because it's a gold mine. It is a gold mine. They undermine everything that we do. When we bought in Lisandro Martinez, everyone's, he's too short, And then Kobe Mano, they big him up, and now he's shit. Everything that we do is echoed, 10 times more. But also, that is a little bit of a, silver lining between the fans and the media, because fans buy into it as well, right? They buy into these headlines, they buy into it, and it becomes a little bit toxic, and it affects you and affects your opinion. But that is what the media is there to do, to sway your opinion to their agenda again, So we saw it now over this strategic review, because that was always pinned in, there was the quarterly review. When you're in business, you either do once a year review, or you do quarterly reviews, right? The reason why you do quarterly reviews is because you can correct your errors earlier, you're identifying the root causes, and then you can fix it, instead of you coming to the end of the season, that was too late. But same thing can apply to Eric Ten Hag as well, that we come to the end of the season and we say, shit, that didn't work out. But at the end of the day, he's got 1 year left on his contract. They didn't extend it, so maybe they do have Z-Man in place what they want. And we spoke about this yesterday. I found it very weird, because I spoke to some Feyenoord fans, and they really spoke highly about Ruud, right? They said that guy was amazing, and we didn't have anything against him. He was a shitster. He was conducting, screaming on the sidelines and the touchlines. He was always he was part of the game. And why did he go to United? Must have been that they convinced him to say that, listen, we are a new structure right now. Everything that we do has a contingency plan, meaning after this manager, we have already established the way we want to play. We already recruited a team under 25, because we're building a team for the future, right? So the Brunos and the Rashfords and the Shaws will be irrelevant in phase 3 or phase 2, right? But the guys that we're bringing in now will be the guys that you're going to manage. So naturally, I think that they convinced Ruud van Nistelrooy to say that you will be the successor when Ten Hag leave. Otherwise, why would he take that assistant manager role, right?
Well, he used to play for the club. Man United is one of the biggest clubs in the world. It's not Feyenoord or PSV or Ajax. It's something much bigger.
Hypothetically speaking, it's just me rambling on.
Yeah, but do you think Ruud thinks in his quiet mind that maybe he wants the job?
Well, he's bloody at it. He's been receiving yellow cards. He's screaming his lungs out, and he's very passionate. And last time the camera zoomed in, he was having an argument with Ten Hag, and maybe that was a nothing burger, but he was giving him advice and said, but there's passion, right? I think that he's more animated, the conductor that we need, right? The problem with Ten is that he's too passive. Do something. If you're 2-0 up in a game management, do something not to concede. You have done it so many times, you didn't learn from your mistakes. And that is coming back to the self-reflection and what you said about the diagnostics, me coming into your garage and you're giving me, here's the data what you need to fix, but nah, I gonna steer this Ferrari. I got unbalanced wheel because I'm gonna play Rashford to the left and put Garnacho to the right, and it's still gonna be left balanced. But and then at the end of the day, Ahmad is not playing for. Anthony's like, boss, you bought me for 95 million. Why am I not playing? I'm a right footer. I'm a right winger. Nothing to see here. Anyway, it's not doom and gloom.
No one is entitled to play, when you play for Man United. There's always competition. And you have to be at your best, and you have to perform almost every game to stand a chance to be selected in the starting 11. And that's just the way it is. They are professionals. They are adults. They know how the game is. You can't sit there and piss and moan if you sit on the bench. There's only one way to fix it, and that is to improve. Be better.
High standards. Be better. Be the best you can be. 100% that comes down to self-reflection as well. I got into a heated debate with Mark when I lost my shit. Everyone saw it. Everyone knows. Yeah. Mark is very passionate. He's protecting and, but I'm more I see from both angles. And I said, look, Mark, you gotta admit that you're not enjoying seeing this style of play right now. You know what I mean? It's not fun to watch. No, okay. But my point is that, and I've been saying this to people, I've been saying this, at the end of the day, we can all scream and shout. We can all point fingers, change this manager will be better, get rid of Rashford, it will be better, do this, do that. But the reality is, when you think about it, we don't have the power, right? We don't have the power. We don't pick the team. We don't recruit these players. We are not the P&L holders, profit and loss holders of the budgets. We are just consumers of the game. And opinions is healthy opinions, which this fosters like good debates, like this is something you can learn about. So when I say, why are you Ten Hag out? Give me a valid reason. Why are you Ten Hag in? Give me a valid reason. Of course, you got to listen to everything. But we're not here to force feed people to be Ten Hag out. Like I see some other fan channels, neighboring
Can I
channels.
say something, Mick? Sorry for interrupting your thought process, but today I said to myself, I will not label fans Ten Hag in or Ten Hag out, because it's highly polarizing, categorizing people in a way that only creates division and negativity. So for me, I will from now on stop. And if you hear me say Ten Hag inners or outers, VAR room, please give me a red card, because I will try my best not to be divisive, because we all United fans.
I got a treat for you.
Label anyone as Ten Hag inners or outers. That's just the way it is from now.
Speaking about, let's close this manager thing merry-go-round. I have actually a treat for you. I prepared something very, very special. It's almost like dessert, but just walk down the memory lane and just see where we're at, right? We're talking about the hamster wheel. Are you ready? Ranking all the managers that we had so far after Sir Alex Ferguson.
Better time than now to look at where he stacks up to those who held the job before him. Who has done the best in the hot seat that Sir Alex left, and why hasn't it worked out for all the managers? Let's take...
So people, get involved, because this goes down in timeline. So get involved in the chat. Who do you think has done the best since Sir Alex Ferguson? We're going to play one by one. And of course, we have the legendary Dr. Open Heart Surgery, Ralph Raganananik.
Take a look. At last place is none other than David Moyes. You knew this was coming. The manager Ferguson handpicked as his successor had a terrible time at the helm that only ended up lasting 10 months. Such was the success of his predecessor. Moyes was never going to find it easy, but his poor record meant he only lasted 51 matches in charge of the Red Devils. In that time, he picked up 1.73 points per game, winning just 27 times and losing 15. His 10-month spell won't be fondly remembered by many. Still, he has since gone on to remind many of his quality during his time as West Ham United boss. It doesn't get...
You remember that one? 10 months, Jarvis? That didn't last? All right. Just a little bit of reminder what we used to have after Sir Alex Ferguson. This is down to the memory lane. Let's continue.
Any better in 7th place?
Yeah.
Where we have the gegenpressing father, Ralph Rangnick. He was brought in to steady the ship after the sacking of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. His time at Old Trafford epitomised the colossal mess at the club. He only took the caretaker job to become a consultant months later, which he would probably have been excellent at, only for him to leave before getting the chance, swiftly becoming Austria manager after entering free agency. He would average a meagre 1.45 points per game and ended up finishing in 6th place with the worst points tally by then. The German spoke well, almost too well at times, saying the sort of thing the Manchester United hierarchy didn't want to hear.
Yes, Jarvis, he was very good at speaking. He was probably one of the best speakers after Sir Alex Ferguson. The way he was articulating, the way he was explaining things, it's like pressing, little bit of pressing, it's like little bit of pregnant. You remember that one?
His open heart
Rangnick.
surgery claim had a brutal truth to it, and it didn't go down well. It turns out that he was more than right in his criticism, as fans are finding out now. We decided to include even interim appointments, which is why Ryan Giggs finds himself in the 6th place.
The
When
heritage.
Moyes sacked, he came in to try and steady the ship for the rest of the season, acting as the club's interim player manager. He stood in the dugout for the final 4 games of the 2013-14 campaign and did okay without changing too much. He managed 2 wins, a draw and a defeat in that time, and stayed on in an assistant role under Louis van Gaal. He, however, left the club in 2016 after being passed up for the top job. Michael Carrick finds himself in the 5th place, which is a tad bit unfair. He actually has the highest points per game average of any manager on this list, but having headed up only 3 games for the club, this is as far as we're willing to put him. He drew with Chelsea, won against Villarreal in the Champions League, and masterminded a thrilling 3-2 victory against rivals Arsenal. What a difficult 3 games to step into, but he managed well enough. He left the club immediately after the Arsenal game and has been manager of Middlesbrough ever since. In 4th place.
But remember Carrick, right? The media made fun of him, and they said that players didn't respect him. Players was laughing at his tactics. He was clueless. Remember that? That was media creating the story again. Again, the media has been creating this ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left. Love him, hate him, adore them, but never ignore them. Right?
We have Dutch legend Louis van Gaal, who brought personality back to the Old Trafford dugout after the Moyes spell. While the experienced Dutch manager entertained the masses with his antics, his football left a lot to be desired. He was very pragmatic and adopted the patient, possession-based approach that has served him well throughout his career. It wasn't well received by United fans who were used to exciting and attacking football. Said style did, however, win an FA Cup for the side, which was the first trophy post-Fergie and led to 4th and 5th place finishes in the league.
Guys, do you recognize this? Because this is Dutch football, like possession-based. Like Louis van Gaal, fans were not happy. Like, this is not the Man United style of play. We're used to attack. Do you see what's going on right now? We're not scoring goals. It's attack. It's a little bit the same what I said, Jarvis. Like, we are too possession-based, thinking about to keep the ball and defend, but we're not attacking. Big up, Stephanie Green.
The trophy didn't save him, though, as he got the sack just 2 days after the Wembley win. Now, moving into the top 3. And first up, we have none other than the main man in the hot seat currently, Eric Ten Hag.
Yup. Now we're coming to...
Top 3? He's in top 3?
Hey.
Okay.
Look in the cow in the ass.
He won the Carabao Cup in his first campaign, which went along nicely with a top 3 finish in the league and an FA Cup final, which his side lost to Manchester City. Things seemed to be looking up, but the club went backwards in his second season. An FA Cup win against City papered over the cracks of an 8th place finish in the league and saved his job for the 3rd season he's currently in. His team's performances in Europe have been nothing short of horrendous, finishing bottom of a relatively easy group last season, and this season in the Europa League hasn't gotten any better. Add to this that he's spent over £600 million since taking over.
He didn't spend it, the club spent it. But there's a valid point. Like, you got to also look at that, Jarvis, that it's facts, right? We finished bottom of that Champions League, which was relatively easy. And what did we do in Europa League so far? Right, and where are we in the league at the moment? This is me coming to your garage, reversing backwards in, right? So we got to take that in consideration as well. We are rating.
And the lack of playing style and identity of his team is unforgivable. Even with the 2 trophies, the Red Devils are in a sorry state after a terrible start to the season. You can probably guess who comes in as the runner-up. Despite being destroyed for his lack of tactics while at the helm, most people now look back at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's time as a success. The club legend got the job full-time after an impressive spell as caretaker boss that included an iconic Champions League comeback away to PSG PSG that earned him plaudits and the full-time job. He did eventually crash and burn, but there's no doubt United played their best football post-Fergie under him. He also had a knack for beating teams in the Big Six, which led to many memorable wins. He brought the best out of players such as Bruno Fernandes and even Martial, and was consistently challenging for the top four and major trophies despite never winning any. In hindsight, he achieved plenty without the backing his successor Ten Hag has gotten. Who else?
Well, Jarvis, Ollie, actually, that is a fact. We played very expensive attacking football. But why do you think that he failed? I mean, if you look at his backroom staff, that wasn't the best. They were like all beginners. And then you had a Mickey Phelan that was like, just leaning on the brick wall. If Ollie had the right people around him and the right structure like we have now, do you think he will be the man and the more successful?
Could be. I think he was sacked too soon. I think he should have been given the season. I think we would have done better with Ollie than we did under Rangnick. So for me, that was sad.
Just playing the devil's advocate a little bit. Just playing the devil's. Yeah, I agree. I think that Ollie would have done better now in this in-ear structure, right? Because how Ollie was operating was under the Glazers, the Woodwards, and you know what I mean. There was no footballing people. They gave him Michael Carrick, they gave him Mickey Phelan, and that's about it. Like Benny McCarthy was there, I think, as well. And then they also gave him a sort of a technical director, in terms of Darren Fletcher, wasn't it? That also was new. So what did he play with? Like, he was at least a man manager that that took care of the players, put an arm around him, like make sure that the camp was happy. He took them for bonfires, took them to Oslo, to Norway, to the fjords, for bondings, and so maybe Ollie would have done better now with this current footballing structure, right? Okay, let's continue, guys.
Else would be number one, if not the special one. Many people say that this was the beginning of Mourinho's downfall, but what he achieved was downright heroic. Again, his football was far from incredible to watch, but it provided results, and this is a results business. His first season saw Pogba and Ibrahimovic shine as the Red Devils won the Carabao Cup, the Europa League, and finished 6th in the Premier League, which was insignificant as Europa glory brought the club Champions League football anyway. The following season brought two-time Champions League winning manager Mourinho the greatest achievement of his career, finishing 2nd in the Premier League, 19 points behind Centurions Manchester City. When he said that, people laughed, but it rings true, especially now that United can't seem to buy their way anywhere near close to the top 4. He lost the job in his 3rd season in charge, but for what he achieved without significant backing, he was special. Do you agree with our list? Let us know in the comments.
So, guys, out of all this, what we've seen here, rinse and repeat, Ten Hag is the only one that's been given the 3rd season. Jose Mourinho, the special one, lasted 2 seasons. He threw his toys out of the pram. He worked with minimum. He worked with the Glazers. They gave him shit players, but he still cooked. And actually, which is true, when he said, coming 2nd and winning the Europa League was the biggest achievement of my career, and people were laughing at him. But when you actually look on the circumstances, the way he was operating with the shackles, he even threw his toys out of the pram to protest to play Scott McTominay as a centre-back. Remember that one?
He did. In the back 3. I remember that. Yeah.
Jarvis, according to your opinion, out of all these managers post Sir Alex Ferguson, who do you think did better, and who do you think should be given a 3rd season?
Well, the question comes in from Kat. She says, which one would you have backed? And for me, I think the one who were on the right pathway was Van Gaal. His 2nd season, he had a lot of injuries, but he had a distinctive style of play, possession-based football. It was boring as hell. You sat there snoring. It was 0-0 in every halftime at Old Trafford. We were in the 75% possession, but we didn't create one chance. but at least we won against the top 6 teams. We beat Liverpool, we beat City. So yeah, Van Gaal, he was good, and I think with the proper backing and the right amount of time, I think he would have done well with this club.
Yeah,
But I think
we have.
there was something wrong with his tactics. I don't think the United fans liked the way he set up. That was not us in a way. But I think if you have stuck with Ten Hag, he would be the one for me.
Hate possession-based football, 81
So did I say
points under.
Ten Hag? I mean Van Gaal.
Van Gaal.
Yeah.
Jose was the special one, definitely. I mean, we won Europa League. We finished second in the league. You got to look at the players as well, what he inherited, what he had to work with. What Kat was saying here, we also have to look at the players at some point, 100%. You know, what did he work with? Like, you know, we had, what is it called? The microphone here. What do we, Fellaini.
Yeah.
We had an aging Mata as well. He had as well. We had also Matic as well. And then we had Paul Pogba. We brought him back, but we never built a team around Pogba. You know, it was kind of like a shit team, and you know, under he brought in Zlatan. Of course, Zlatan was the Lion King, but still, there was never the quality needed around that midfield, right? So, Juan Mata was kind of an agent as well, no legs, very technical. Matic was on and off. Jesus, we had Fred as well, didn't we? So it was a little bit of an unbalanced team. So
second summer window.
Yeah. But I'd say that, arguably to say from a stylistic perspective, I like Ollie. You know, when he came in, it was happy football. Like everyone was like enjoying the football. Unfortunately, in his interview that he did in the overlap, I think he was sitting there with Gary Neville and all the mates, and he was explaining what happened, right? And naturally, the third season he came in, or second season, you know, to elevate, and they inherited Cristiano Ronaldo, right? It might be his downfall. So all of a sudden he had to shoehorn him, blah blah blah. The pressure was already there. You know what I mean? Come on, Ollie. He almost won the Europa League. Remember the penalties that went down to the miss with David De Gea, right? That could have gone any way. If he had won that Europa League, he wouldn't be sacked, don't you think? So he was almost there, successful. So if there's anyone,
and also the Corona season, when the Corona first struck, we were in great shape when the football started.
You mean where Liverpool won the league?
Yeah, we had just brought in Bruno January. We were starting to cook. We were winning games, right, left, center. Last game we played against Lask Linz from Austria. I think we won that game with the Odion Igalo scoring. I think we won 5-1 or 6-1 with Oli. And then football was over. And we came in the summertime with closed stadiums and I think it took away a lot from Oli.
Yeah, no. Listen, I'm going to translate this. Milos Mitic all the way from Serbia. Mufc Realist TV, do you think that Eric Ten Hag is the worst trainer of Manchester out of all of these? Hard to say. 2 trophies in 2 seasons. I mean, we're not going to... Ollie said, like, I'm not staring at trophies. That was Ollie, right? But I would arguably say that, you know, what I said earlier, you know, if Ollie comes back now with all this Ineos backing, all the, you know, backroom stuff and everything, he didn't have that. Nobody of these managers did have that before. I bet you any of these managers, barring Moyes, would have done better, right? So this is kind of the first time since Sir Alex Ferguson that we actually do a proper rebuild, a proper restructure with proper people that understands football. Before we had bankers, right? They only sort of signed players because of
I will show if it's proper.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying it will be.
Remember the piano player, 500k a week, piano player.
Yeah.
From Arsenal, he was dog
that
shit.
Was
right?
Mkhitaryan.
Alexis Sanchez as well. Oh, and Mkhitaryan as well.
Yeah, he was a baller. Mkhitaryan have had a
great destroyed him
in Italy. Roma and Inter, I think he's done well.
Yeah, but we kind of destroyed him, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
You know what I mean? So my choice here, I mean, I didn't like Van Gaal at all. I mean, he was the only one that had a distinctive style of play, but it was too pragmatic for me, like too possession based. And that kind of reminds me of how Ten Hag is playing as well. This is total Dutch football as well, which doesn't resonate with me because United is all about attack, right? And only resembles me that attacking football. Although it was free-flowing football, but go out there and express yourself, have fun. But in this current system, players don't look happy. They don't look happy. They're not playing football, right? There's too many rules and principles what you have to do, follow that, do this, do that. Like, for fuck's sake, like, operate in this way.
Have that because other top clubs don't have a manager with rules and stuff like that. Like Manchester City, it's just free-flowing with Pep. Or no, it's not. It's how top clubs are run. If you go to Bayer Leverkusen, I think Alonso will tell you pretty quick if you're not doing it right the way he wants to. Same with Pep, same with Arteta. And we got to stop this. Ten Hag, of course, it's his privilege as manager and his responsibility to tell the players. He's the general,
right? But come what may,
flow.
There's nothing we can do about it. Come what may, like, we will see at the end of the season where we finish, right? And if that's shit, then he's gone, 100%. And speaking about, why
are we putting the focus always on Ten Hag when we know we have players who are actually on the pitch? Why do we do this all the time? Because now you listed up all the ex-managers. We as fan base are as guilty as F because we have all shouted on all of these managers. We want them out.
He's the front figure. He's the spokesman. He's the one that assembles the team. But you also got to talk about who is the trainers, the coaches, the assistant managers that are whispering in his ears, giving the advice. At the end of the day, they sit there together and picking the team. They look at the training performances and say, well, Luke Shaw trained well today. He's going to give a chance. Obviously, Scott McTominay was brilliant in training. He was like pre-Pirlo in training, and Maldini in training. And then he came out on the pitch and was inconsistent, right? Lately, we discovered that Scott McTominay is a 9.5. He's scoring goals. Look at what he's doing in Italy, right? So that's been the problem. Like, you can perform well on the training ground. And, of course, you as a manager, it's not your job. Yours is just to managing the assistant managers, the training staff, everything. And at the end of the day, you're responsible, for doing the press conferences and stuff like that. You're the spokesperson, right? So it's always coming down that the buck stops at the manager at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, but the thing is now we sit here and talk about the ex-managers. It's almost like having a list and seeing a list of your ex-girlfriends and who you should have married, in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's terrible.
Exactly.
And now our body count is getting as high as now we are getting picky. We can't even.
Okay, Jarvis, out of all your ex-girlfriends, who would you take back?
Yeah. You don't have time.
You never go back to
story. No, that would be a long show.
Yeah. So the analogy is you can't fix a broken mirror. You can put it together, but you will always see the cracks, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. But I think we're starting to get really picky. We are thinking that one man, the savior, will come in and save us. I don't think so.
We've always been doing that.
Be realistic. Yeah, Ten Hag maybe he's not the best coach, but I don't see any better options out there at the moment.
Yeah, but we as fans, we've been doing that ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left. Like, help us. We're looking for the savior. We're looking for the individual brilliance to step up and score the game. But we're also so fast to find the scapegoats,
Yes.
100%. Like, it was like, oh, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, hate on Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Oh, David De Gea, hate on David De Gea. Oh, who should we hate now? Like, oh, let's pick on Rashford. Okay, pick on Rashford. Oh, now Rashford's doing well. Who should we pick now? And now people are starting to sort of kind of picking a little bit of Garnacho and so stay away.
Garnacho, Martinez, he was the hero. Now he's the villain. Casemiro, he was the hero when he first came in. Now he's the villain. And
so do you recognize it? It's kind of going from hero to zero very fast.
Yeah.
Within a fan base. Oof.
Yeah. They have no patience. It comes back to patience.
Liverpool used to be like that before Klopp turned in, right? They used to be like that as well. As soon as Klopp was winning, it's like, don't touch my team, don't do it. Everyone was so protective. Arsenal was the same. Now the Arsenal is cooking, right, under Arteta. they're still Arsenal fans. They're the worst fan base in the world anyway. So
But all
you know
of
what I
them
mean?
shouted Arteta out after season 2 and after season 3. They wanted him
Yeah.
out.
Good question. Why not Eric Cantona as manager? Did he do his apprenticeship? No, I don't think he ever did he, Cantona?
I don't know.
He kind of disappeared from football and just living his life, smoking cigars somewhere with the seagulls.
And the seagulls follow the trolley.
Trolley.
That's flying pigs.
Best.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's flying pigs. Yeah. But at the end of the day, guys, we the summary is that you got to love your team no matter what. You know, we've been supporting this team thick and thin, right? There was a time in 1999 and everything where we won everything, and that's what we remember. That's stuck into our mind, and we can't simply get out of that because this is Manchester United. We should get back to the winning ways. And my question to everyone here: did we set the expectations too high with this rebuild and everything that we were getting too giddy and we're going to win straight away?
100%, Mick. We set the expectations way too high. People thought we were going to fight for top 3. Maybe we can beat Liverpool. Manchester City and Arsenal, okay. We will be within reach, maybe 6 points at the end of the season, but Liverpool, we will be around them. You know, and let's be honest, you know, we lost Varane and replaced him with De Ligt. Are we really strengthening? We lost Ugarte. We lost McTominay. We replaced him with Ugarte, maybe. I don't know.
We haven't seen much of him.
We lost Van Bissaka. We replaced him with Masraoui. So if you look at it, like, let's say if you give points to every player and what we brought in and give points to what players we brought in, do we have more points now or not if you value the squad?
Well, it's true. I mean, am I being real to say that it's too early to rate this even squad? We played 7 games, right? It's too early. I mean, I get everyone's sentiment, but, you know, I just look at it from a different perspective. Like, you know, equally that what you mentioned about, why are we going back to the X's and rating and blaming and shaming and all that stuff? Like, you know, that's who we are right now, right? And it gets tiring.
That's the next one.
Everyone,
you know? I do the same.
100%.
I blame Rashford. I blame Bruno. I blame
100%.
So yeah, we are
But
frustrated.
it's passion.
Maybe we should be. Maybe we should show more love to our club. You know, we love this football club. It's like family. You don't yell at the family for making mistakes all the time. You know, with the power of love, you can actually achieve things. So maybe if we were as a fan base a little bit more supportive of the
guys,
team, it would have been better.
Yeah. Love you, Jarvis. And this transpires into Mick Ruby's next dessert. Are you ready for this one? Love your players or hate your players. But anyway, there's been chants that we're going to share.
Stratford and the right. One hog, 2 hogs, 3 hogs, 4 hogs, 5 hogs, 6 hogs, 7 hogs, 8 hogs, 9 hogs, 10 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 hogs. Oh, when I die, and the lay me to rest, I'm gonna go to peace with Georgie Bear, going up to the spirit sky. Where I'm gonna go when I die. United all the sing for me with a head back. How do I kill it up? Why don't sing for me? United all the sing for me with a head back. How do I kill it up? Why don't sing for me?
Was gonna die. Kill him, I don't know. Cut him from the head to toe. All I know is gonna die. Gonna die. It's a langa. Whoa. You can feel it in the air.
It's a langa.
We have a karaoke night. So, guys, going down the memory lane, I hope that made you a little bit happy as fans, because at the end of the day, this kind of reminder, you know, we love him, we hate him, we adore him, but we never ignore them, pretty much. We all sang the songs, we all been to Old Trafford, we all watched on TV, we all saw them, we all praised them, and we also cut him down as well, like, you know what I mean? But this is just sort of me thinking of a dessert to say that there is a happy thought. This is Man United, this is the club we love. This is the club we love to discuss. And, you know, you can sit and discuss with everyone. Like, you know, I can meet anyone on the street and I see him in Man United shirt. Hey, man, stop. Like, you know, hey,
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is. We're the biggest club in the world and we love our club. I love this chance. And, you know, which one resonates best with you?
Oh, there's so many. But did you play that Ollie on Ollie at the wheel?
Yeah, at the wheel. Tell me how good does it feel? We got pop gun.
But I like the best is the original Ollie song for me. While my sunshine, my only sunshine.
Yeah, shine. You make me happy. Anyway, guys, you just want to sort of that was kind of me serving up the dessert because it makes me happy to sort of go back in memory lane, you know, review, but also listen to the chants, like, you know, because at the end of the day, Man United would not be anything without the fans. That is a fact. You know, the way-going fans, people traveling, the home, you know, the match-going fans, people tuning in from all over the world for one love, the Red Devils, right? So it's just a little bit of reminder, be careful what you wish for, right? because we want to be back on top again. And I resonate what you said, Jarvis. You get rid of the manager now, you start off from zero again, the hamster wheel, right? But another thing that I want to also mention is that if you look around about Liverpool, City, and all them, we love to hate, and Arsenal, they're 7 years ahead of us, because what we're doing now is what they did 7-8 years ago, having a proper structure, having a sort of contingency plan. If Klopp leaves, we put in Slot. We already have a system. We already have an operation. We already have a XYZ. We bring in the manager that will play the same style, 4-3-3. So just a reminder that we are just now on that building process.
Yeah.
Right. Just a reminder. So as what you said, I'm not going to force anyone any different to be in or out, but I'm Man United in, through and through. And I understand you. I want us to win trophies. It's been far too long. Jose Mourinho, Europa League. All they tried went to 12 penalties. Since then, we've won, like, Carabao Cup. Last season, we saw the FA Cup. Eric Ten Hag won us 2 trophies. But is there a chance? Is there a slight chance that after the international break, that we can turn it around?
Yeah. Yeah, we can. We can. And we will one day. Not this year, maybe not next year. We are building something. And it's in times like this, we need to be patient. We need to trust the process. We need to understand that we don't know everything. We are just spectators from the outside. We don't know what's actually going on inside the club.
You absolutely spot on. And like empires goes in cycles, the rise and fall of empires. So it's with football, right? It comes and goes. United had its glory, fell down in a dip. Somebody else took over. Now Arsenal is on the rise. City will fall down again. Allegedly 115 charges. God knows what's going to happen. Please don't send me a litigation letter, please. I didn't say anything bad, did I? No. But then United is kind of heading that path with Omar Barada and everyone else. And what was his name? That sporting director? What was it from City? He's also jumping ship now.
Yeah, Trixie Bergistan.
Yeah, he's kind of understood. Oh, I'm out of here. So
jumping ship.
Anyway, I think So the ones that are on the rise is Arsenal, 100%. They're gonna, they've been on that trajectory. Like, this is 4th season now. They are starting to gel and cook. City will drop off. Villa is kind of getting there as well, like, with Unai Emery and all that. And so what happens now if we are now all of a sudden getting rid of the manager and appoint another one maybe next season? So come what may, I'm willing to see it out. Like, I was playing in my mind, like, what would it be? Like, we have great squad, we have good players. What would it be if Ruud van Nistelrooy took over? I'm curious to see. Maybe Ten Hag goes on a holiday for three matches, and we see what Ruud can do, right? But to bring in somebody now, who is it? You're not going to get anyone that's kind of already in a contract. No, and you're not going to get in Thomas Tuchel. No, you're not. Zidane is out of job. He can come in, but he's not going to play the youth. He's going to just want the ready-made players. The way he won at Real Madrid, he already had a fantastic squad. Casemiro, Valverde, all them. Yeah?
Well, on this topic, as we are in the mood of sharing videos, I don't know if you have seen this. It's about selecting managers. Sit tight.
Do you have sound?
Ten Hag. Who's next? Let me check the next manager odds. Gareth Southgate? Too boring. Thomas Tuchel? Too bald. Zidane? What did I just say? Yeah, fair point. Kieran McKenna? Too inexperienced. Massimiliano Allegri? Too experienced. Ange Postecoglou? Too Australian. Mate. Graham Potter? Too Potter. Diego Simeone? Too scary. Ralph Hasenhüttl? We don't want to lose 9-0. Yeah, fair point. Ruben Amorim? Who? No clue. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? No, fair point. Jose? No, but seriously, we do need someone who knows the club, is experienced,
What happened? You froze, Jarvis. Where did I froze? Hello. Is it Jarvis that froze? I'm looking. Jarvis froze. Oh, okay. What happened to Jarvis? He's just smiling. I don't know. Something's going on here. Jarvis froze. Oh, his computer. That was a funny video. It's kind of a real. I cannot do anything here. Jarvis just disappeared. But anyway, that kind of reminds us or sends us how we are as a fans. Like, pick your manager. Nope, nah. Who? It's funny. I hope you really enjoyed our discussion today. It's we always try to bring in a voice of reasoning. We are going to go back with doing the Mental United podcast as well, which is mean that you guys, being a Man United supporter is not easy, but we're going to bring that back where you can call in and express yourself. Win, lose, draw, we're always here for you guys. So it's so important we talk, As we said, we're not going to force anyone to choose sides. All we want to say is choose Man United. That's about it. Until then, people, I think that Jarvis just hit the kill switch. Not really sure what happened. Jarvis, are you okay? Hang on a second. Hey, I don't know. He just totally froze. You okay, bud? I think his computer just died or crashed. Anyway, guys, what do you think? Right, and everything that we discussed, if you're watching this in retrospective, leave your comments in the non-live. We did a sort of, we went back in memory lane. We went on the hamster wheel all the way from Moyes up to now. We played some chants. Basically to remind you, we are Man United fans. We all rated players. We all hated them. We all adored them. We all sang the songs. And then we slated them as well. So, yeah. So this is, unfortunately, our fan base that is kind of been shaped today. But at the end of the day, we're here for you. And you guys are equally... I mean, I'm just a supporter like you. And... I don't know what the season's going to give. And I can sort of share your pain as well. We shouldn't be in 14th. I know. But then you kind of think, oh, wait a minute. You look at it a little bit from a realistic perspective. Say, wait, we are two games away from top 4. There's international breaks and there's games to be played until December. What is it to say that we can't catch up? What is it to say that they can't slip up? They will also slip. It's football. It's gravity. What comes up must come down. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So, I rest my case, I think. And it doesn't look like Jarvis coming back. Should I do a impression of Jose Mourinho, according to Elite Baller? Guys, if you want to come in and have your say, I know Elite Baller, can you replace Jarvis for me? Because I hate talking to myself. I will copy this in and I'll paste it in here in the chat. Anyone is welcome in to have a say. Speak your mind. After everything that you heard today, I want to hear from you. 100%. Come in and have your say. The link is in here. Welcome. The StreamYard is open. I'm looking forward to see you. Elite Ball is coming in, probably. Anyway, so what do we expect this international break? Is anyone going to watch this boring internationals? I'm not. I personally think it's too many football games. And I think that United is doing great to say that, we're not going to ship our players out to the international break. No, they need to be fresh. There's no point of sending. I heard Garnacho is not going. I heard even now that, Amad Diallo is not going. Why send him out, right? 100%. 1 minute you will join. Yeah, 100%. You will join. What you're saying here, Scott Will, our preseason started when the league started. We are playing catch up until the end of October. 100%. I totally agree with you. That's my sentiment too. And that's why I said, like, you know, I think I said it so many times that in that case, Ineos is equally responsible for where we are sitting at the table at the moment, because, you know, they didn't want to overpay on the market. They want to sort of make a precedence to say, like, you know what? We are new Manchester United. We're not going to overpay, and therefore we negotiated and negotiated and negotiated. We did amortizations, fair play. But then they ended up to the end of the window, and these players that we bought in was not much ready. And it's exactly what you said, it's got at the wheel. Like, you know, we are kind of still in the preseason by the looks of it. But may this be the last one, because I don't want to see that next season. I want to see us to be ready, right? We discussed this before. I think that this PR tour is not necessary. I mean, of course it is, because if United go to US, Bangkok, Australia, yeah, you know, the people that live there gets to go and see the team, 100%. But it's so damning and toxic for the players, going up and down, especially 2 years in a row in US. Of course, it was PR tour, and of course, apparently in US they have the biggest fan base. And it's amazing how soccer or football has come to life there as well. There's so many passionate fans. Big up, Elite Baller. How you doing, my friend?
I'm not too bad, my brother. I'm not too bad. How are you doing?
Not too bad. I lost my Jarvis, so you have to be Jarvis.
Is okay. I like to back Ten Hag. I think he's great.
You suck doing another. You're a Norwegian transponder. Nah, I'm just joking, man. Listen, you stayed and tuned into the show. I mean, what was the most learning point, and what was the aha moment for you? Was it the chance? Was it the, you know, going back in the memory lane and sort of saying, rate the, you know, the hamster wheel? Talk to me.
Well, I'll come from a different angle, right? I want to rewind, and I want to rewind to just before the FA Cup final. The rumors were that Ten Hag was going to get sacked, right? He was going to get sacked. None of us thought we'd win the FA Cup final, right?
True.
But then somehow we pulled off a miracle and we did it. So now you've got the owners, Ineos, seeing, oh my God, he's actually pulled off a miracle. We won the FA Cup final. Mm-hmm. You've also got a pressure from a vocal part of the fan base saying, you know, we can't let go of this guy. So obviously they're under pressure to keep him. So what a good business person does is they think, okay, maybe he's given himself some time here. So what we'll do is we'll give him a transfer window. We'll get some players in that we think are going to be beneficial for this team. We'll back him. And, you know, we'll give him one more chance. And I think that's what we're doing at the moment. But yeah. I think we have to wait a little bit longer to see whether or not something changes. At the moment, it hasn't. So I understand why people are negative. But I think maybe wait one more international break, which is in November. If things haven't changed by then, maybe it's the end, you know?
No, you speak volumes there, to be honest, because they only gave him 1 year.
Yeah.
True. That kind of gives you, because as a business owner, you delegate. You don't make the call. You have people that you trust, that you sort of give the assignment to do. And the only one that did that strategical review was Brailsford, because the others was not employed yet. Yeah. My brother, when did he come in? So I think it was Wilcox that came in first, and Ashworth, they were haggling for Newcastle to release him and all that stuff. So they were not part of the process whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So it was only Dale Brailsford pretty much that did that strategical review. He looked at everything, because that's what he does, performance management. He recommended we need to fire 300 people because it's overstaffed, right? Mm. We need to get rid of this. We need to get rid of the medical stuff. We need to have better training facilities. That was all him. Mm. So when it came down to the manager situation, it was nothing to do with Omar Barada. He had nothing to do. It was him. Yeah. And of course, like, he's been working 18 years advising, best mates with apparently with Sir Jim, you know, so he trusts him.
Yeah.
So that's what it came down to. Like, you know, of course they were speaking to Tuchel. Of course. There was also Tuchel's agent that was pushing for that meeting as well. But then they realized that, nah, he's not our guy, right? maybe Ten Hag is a guy. Well, if he's a guy, we're not going to extend his contract. Just let it run for another year. We have more than time to then get the man that we want that is not available at the moment. I think that that's the case, right? Because look at it now. Now you have Omar Barad and everyone is already started. And now this was the first quarterly meeting that happened on Tuesday, or you know what I mean? That was the first time they all sat together and discussed footballing matters. And media made it to sound like it was only like Ten Hag sacking, you know what I mean? Ten Hag not to be or be. But of course, they are on the same page, what Ten Hag was saying. Like, we have a plan, we have a vision, we know where we want to be, right? Quote even from Sir Jim Ratcliffe, like, you know, nothing's going to change with a switch of a light bulb. You know, fans needs to be patient. So they want to blow Manchester City, Arsenal out of the water. So, and I think the fans are now just, with this new structure, had set high expectation. Wow, we're going to go and kick on, but we know it's not going to be that way. I'm not defending it. I think it's been horrendous football to watch. Can I lie? I think that his game management sucks. It needs to be improved. I think that his team selection is weird. Because how many times have we done a, you know, preview and we sit to pick the starting 11? I can count 2 out of how many games he played with United. 2 I got correct who started. You get my point? So we never know who's gonna start.
Exactly. So how are you supposed to build consistency and a winning team if that team never plays together? You know, I mean, like you said, I haven't been able to pick any of Ten Hag's lineups. I know what I think is the right thing to do, and I share it with you, and everyone talks about it, and we all sort of agree. But then the lineup comes out, and we're like, okay, now we don't even have any defensive midfielders on the pitch against Villa away, and I'm like, I don't get what this is. Do you want to win the game? Do you want to throw the game? It just doesn't make any sense. But what I will say is, in Ineos's favour, they're doing it so that no one can turn around and say to them, well, you didn't give him a fair chance. You did not give him a fair crack of the whip.
I think they are too afraid of the British media and the PR. You know, they love a little bit of a PR about him, 100%. Sir Jim Ratcliffe loves to speak to BBC, like, you know, about it, 100%. They love a little bit PR, and they're shit scared to do the wrong thing, because in my eyes, they're equally guilty now, because every single footballing director that is there has been part of the recruitment process this summer. It hasn't been Ten Hag that spent that 200 odd million. It was actually, we had a footballing director there. We had a head of recruitment that recommended players, and he was actually consulted. So they are equally guilty, 100%. So if Ten Hag fails, they fail. You get my point? And I think they're shit scared of failing.
But sorry, go on.
Yeah, so therefore I think there are too chicken shit to pull the trigger at the moment, because they just came into they haven't been here more than 5 minutes, to be honest. But one thing that he promised is clear-cut communication to the fan base. They haven't done that. Why are they not coming out and challenging the statements from the media to say, no, he's a guy, back our guy? And this is causing us to have these debates and say, well, we don't hear anything, then something is happening. You know what I mean? A proper club would just go out and say, shut it down right now, right? Shut it down.
I just don't see. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but in reality, in practice, I don't know how that can happen, because the way that the pressure is on Ten Hag, they'd have to be saying it every week. No, he's still the manager. No, he's still the manager. No, do you see what I'm saying? It's just, I don't see it happening. But what I'm going to say to you in a counter to what you said is, maybe they've never had enough faith in Ten Hag to extend the contract. So what they've done is they put in Ruud van Nistelrooy as a plan B. If things go wrong, that's our guy. That's our guy. He's been here before. He knows the levels that Man United need to keep up. Yeah, do you see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Now we're talking. I mentioned that earlier. I think I discussed this with Jarvis as well. I think that they attracted Ruud to be the successor, because everything now has a successor, right? They need to know who is the next manager in line. if Bruno leaves, we have already a plan who's going to replace Bruno. If Rashford leaves, we know who's going to replace Rashford. That is how they start now. That's what's called running a football operations club.
Yeah.
So 100%, I agree with you that they must have convinced Ruud van Nistelrooy to come and to say, look, you know, we're not going to give Ten Hag an extension. We're not going to give him another contract. You know, we'll just join in as an assistant manager with a potential to become the manager or the head coach. Otherwise, he could have taken any managerial job. He was a manager at PSV, right? So, or was he just attracted to come to the nostalgia, like, you know, go back to Man United. All he did, he failed. He wouldn't be stupid to commit harakiri suicide. But at the end of the day, I agree what you're saying, because he's now already integrated, right? And he knows the club, he knows the fans, and he knows the DNA. So that's a valid point. We'll see.
And he's more of a people person. He's more of a people person than Ten Hag. Ten Hag comes across as a bit stubborn. He distances himself from the media. I think Ruud van Nistelrooy is more of a sort of charming person, eloquent, because he's lived in England for a long time, you know, in the past. He's just got that different level of communication to Ten Hag, and I just think the players will respond more to him, not only because of that, but also because of the levels that he reached as a striker. You know,
that is absolutely spot on, Elite Bowler, man. So, you know that we cover the press conferences live and everything, like, and I've been doing it. Man, I think out of all the pressers, Ten Hag is the worst. You know, it's the worst. Like, the communication is just not there. He's very direct, straight, Dutch way. But the one that was the best in speaking was actually Ralf Rangnick. He had so good answers for everything. He spoke tactics. He spoke everything. Things what you want to hear. Now, I think that he's an introvert. I said it before. I think that in his mind, he lives and breathes football like 24/7. He's thinking and thinking and thinking. But the problem is, what I see here is he doesn't get the message across. So it's coming down to communication. There's a broken link there. How you can fix it? Use an interpreter. Use Ruud, for instance, to be the bad cop. Can be so. Anyway, good stuff. Good discussion, man. Jarvis just messaged his Wi-Fi is down. Broken down. So we will not see any more Jarvis. Thank you, Jarvis, for participating. And thank you, Elite Baller, for covering, being Jarvis number 2.
No problem, man. Anytime, bro.
Bro, you also run a YouTube channel, by my understanding, right?
I do, yeah. But it's very small. Only just started taking it seriously recently, but yeah, I do, yeah.
Cool. Where can people find you?
I will put a link in the channel. I'll put my channel link in the chat if you just give me a sec.
Please do so. Please do so.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Let me see what the comments are saying here. We have Yolem, I mean, Eric Ten Hag to the fallout with everyone. There are staff who has left who did not want to resign because of Eric Ten Hag plays. Also, he gets angry at you if you wear the wrong socks at training. I seen him, guys. Like, I was in Bangkok seriously on his first preseason tour, and that was a disciplinarian. That I was like, I don't want to mess with this guy. I saw him in training. He gave punishment, like people doing push-ups and sit-ups and all that stuff. And he used to do an example. He used to run with them, right? Run laps with them, just to show that I'm one of yours. If I can do it, you can do it. But he stopped doing that. He became too introverted into himself, I think. And of course, this is the biggest club in the world, and it will eat you up eventually.
Yeah. If the club doesn't eat you up, the media will eat you up, because we're the most scrutinized 100%. Club in the world, you know?
100%.
Who do you have more faith in at this moment in time? If I had to ask you this question, Mick, who do you have more faith in? Do you have more faith in Ten Hag, or do you have more faith in Ineos?
Neither.
Okay.
But it is what it is at the moment. I mean, again, it comes down to we don't pick, you know. It is what it is. You know, I'm attached to the club. I love the club. So it's like picking between cancer and cholera or something like that, some other disease. But I really, It's too early to say about Ineos because they just been here 5 minutes. But what they've done in one summer has been impeccable in terms of transformation, right? They have a sort of plan. They know exactly. Like, process is not linear. What Papi says, I know that. But you know, when you do a business plan or project plan, you always look at it from a 3-stage rocket, right? The 3 years plan. So we are now kind of in the phase 1. Do I have faith in Eric Ten Hag? Do I think he reached his ceiling? Yes, I think he reached his ceiling. So the manager will live by his sword and die by his sword by his own mistake. And it comes down to every single successful business owner or somebody that is successful. Take Madonna like an example. The singer Madonna. The reason why she stayed relevant because she kept reinventing herself all the time. Self-reflection. And that's why I'm looking at Ten Hag like, do something, like, say something or giving up on you, that song. So you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, well, what am I doing wrong? We did an analogy with the car and the diagnostics, and even if the diagnostics come out to say you need to change your, what do you call it, axle or something because it's going like this. No, I'm good. It's costing too much money. Okay, I will drive. All right.
Yeah.
So, do I have faith in Ten Hag to take us to the glory days? The fact is that the Ineos backed him this summer only with 1 year. I don't think that he's going to be here next year. Depends on what he does this year. Of course, everything is down to performance management, and he knows it.
Yeah.
And I had a discussion with somebody else earlier that he feels like he's playing himself into the sack for some reason.
Yep, that's what I've been saying. Yep.
Yeah, this is by picking different teams and selections. And somebody else said, well, he comes from a wealthy family. He doesn't need money. He's got like 50 million worth. That was Tom Jones as well. So, look, at the end of the day, it's a very good question. But I will then think more about the structure than manager, because managers comes and goes all the time.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say to you, Mick. So if we take Brighton for an example, and Ashworth came from Brighton, right? They have had 3 managers in not too long a time. So they had Potter, they had De Zerbi, and now they got the new guy. But the culture at Brighton remains the same. The scouting remains the same. So they're able to keep to that good level and not dip down. That's where we need to get to, where it doesn't matter who the manager is. If they get sacked, we've got the next man in, the culture is set, the transfer strategy is set, and we've only had one window of that. So that's what I'm hoping, that all the windows from the future are like this. We don't buy overpriced players like Anthony, Mount, and whoever you want to think of. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And before that, I wanted to say to a good old friend of mine, Mr. B, big up, Mr. B, I see you. I would even trust Ten Hag used to walk my dog. Really, Mr. B. Good to see you, mate. Man United agenda, go check them out as well, Mr. B. Lovely to see you. Listen, it's simple, man. I'm gonna use something like when I say it's not linear, it is actually quite linear, because we build a rocket. Let's say this is the rocket, like this is my vape, disposable vape. People, I'm not promoting this habit. Stay away if you're not smoking, okay? But this is a rocket, right? We're just starting to launch, We know we're going to fly up to the moon, and this is where we belong. We want to be up the moon, right? Correct? So the point is, it's a straight line, isn't it? Yeah. From point A to point B. Can only go this one. So what I'm trying to say is that we cannot continue to be shit. We're going to go up somehow. But how you get there is process. It's called agile. If you want to reach it quicker, well, you offload certain things, like you offload this shit player, that player, so we become lighter. We fly up. But eventually we will reach to the top. We will reach to the moon. And that is the main objective, isn't it? Right? Does it make sense?
Of course it does.
Anyway.
The problem we've got at the moment is we've got a lot of people who make money off negativity to do with Man United. Whether it be channels, whether it be the media, whether it be people on Twitter, etc., etc. So we're forever fighting this battle between sensationalism and level-headed love for the club and wanting what's best for it. So there's always a middle ground, and we just need to find that middle ground. You know,
you're absolutely spot on. And I've been fighting this media circus for quite a while, like, because I said it before, like early in the stream, that 90% of these journalists that write about Man United are not even fans, right? It's just a gold mine.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
You just go back in timeline, everything since Sir Alex Ferguson used to control them brilliantly. They were shit scared of him, right? He would give them bollocking, right? You know what? Ban them from press conferences and everything. But since then, it's been like a feast, free flow. Anything that's been downplayed, even when we do well, it's been downplayed. And everything gets magnified, you know, 10 times more. But nobody talks about, you know, what's City, about the 150 charges, and Jack Grealish, 100 million in failing, not scoring many goals and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about that. Erling Haaland is scoring hat tricks like mad. Doesn't even get much praise, because why? They're a small club. They're a small club.
No one's really interested in them, are they? Really?
Nobody's interested. But everyone is interested in United because they know how big the fan base is. And the more they write about it, the more people's going to read. But the thing is, we've seen this movie so many times before. So why are we falling into the same trap? Question mark. When you know the answer.
On a very specific note, Mick, because this has been troubling me for a while now. You and I are used to fullbacks like Evra, right? Dennis Irwin, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Even for not Man United, players like Roberto Carlos, who can attack, who can shoot, who can cross. I think our fullbacks are nowhere near the level they need to be. They're not offering enough forward. I'm concerned about that. What do you think? Do you think they're actually doing a good job, or do you think we need?
You're the
more
first one that mentioned that I've been thinking for a long time. I'm spoiled with fullbacks that could defend and bomb forward.
Yeah,
we don't have that. I don't think that Diego Dalot is up to that standard either. Mazarawi, I haven't seen him attack much, but it's brilliant defensively. But 100%, we used to have that wingbacks or fullbacks that used to bomb forward, right? What was his name? The last one we had on the right, Valencia, right?
Yeah, Donio Valencia, yeah.
He was brilliant going forward and putting crosses into the box as well. But a little bit suspect defending.
Yeah.
But since then, we haven't had really, it's been mediocre, right? I remember Wan-Bissaka, we brought him in for a specific purpose during the Oli era. But he suited that time of period. Like, you know, he was brilliant on 1-versus-1 defending and stuff like that, but was kind of dubious going forward. But at least when he did go forward, he was the only one in the team that did cutback passes, right? We don't do that anymore.
That's it.
So you're absolutely right. Your connotation is, I agree with you 100%. Hariamas is potentially the one that can do this, but he's too young, right? We still have a young academy that can come up and do the job. But I don't know. Diego Dalot for me is a little bit suspect. I don't know. Like, I've been critical because it's because of the system he's cutting in the midfield. He's been gone missing. Like, you know, if you've seen the latest goal, where is the left back? Oh, he's up in the midfield. You know what I mean? But he's not he's a, I don't know. He's more like a, I don't know, but yeah, you got a point. They're not up to these standards that we're used to. And then if you look at other Premier League clubs, they still have really good fullbacks. They are good bombing forward, right?
Even if you look at Liverpool, right? They had Andy Robertson, who's a good left back who can cross the ball really well, and now they've already got a replacement for him in that Bradley, who's a young lad. So it's so important. And at the moment, we're not scoring enough goals because we're not even crossing the ball enough. When was the last time we scored a headed goal? You know, it's just, I just don't like the way we play. It's just, I hate 4-3-3. I long for the day. It's never going to happen, but I long for the days of two wingers.
We're not playing 4-3-3. We're playing 4-2-3-1, right? So we're not playing 4-3-3. So you hate 4-3-3.
Yeah.
So what would you rather play? 4-2-4-2, the old traditional with two strikers, York and Coley? Yeah, that could work. That could work. It definitely play Højlund and Rashford. We haven't seen that combination before, you know. But the thing is with football, like, you can probably agree to disagree with me, but it's constantly evolving and constantly changing. The new hipster, like, you know, the pressing was with Ralph Ragnick, and then Klopp started to use that Ralph Ragnick pressing, and everyone was starting to press. Well, the traditional, when I started to play football, it was 4-4-2. Then it went to 4-3-3, and then we see 3 in the back, 5 in the back, X, Y, Z. So it's constantly changing, trending, hipster, this, that, and that. But football is very simple, right? That's why I say, you don't concede, you score. That's it, right? Transport the ball. So why don't you like a 4-3-3 if it's more compact? I mean, it depends on how you set up the 4-3-3.
I just think it's boring. I just think it's boring, man, because basically what happens is you've got 3 out-and-out attackers, right? Say one's got the ball, you've got to rely on the other one on the other side to join the attack and the striker. And if they don't, then it's just there's not enough people in the box to. Like, how many times do we have chances and there's no one there in the middle just to tap it in, for God's sake? And that's what McTominay was doing last season. Just a simple tap in. Do you see what I'm saying?
Tap-ins. There's no tap-ins, right? You can go to the pub, the local pub, and you can get a lot of tap-ins there, like another the tap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But I agree with Jarle here to say, like, you know, I would love to see a 3-5-2. 100%.
Yeah.
I would.
Something different, Mick. Something different, you know?
Or 3-4-2-1. Yeah. Because we still have good quality. We brought in quality players that can play a high line in terms of De Ligt, Martinez, Lenny Yoro. Good enough to play with 3 in the back there. And plus a sweeper keeper in Onana that can play that, you know. Come on. So then you don't have to have, you know, 4 in the back. Ugarte we brought in as a specialist CDM, so he can be the transponder between the backline and the midfield.
Yeah.
But when you conjust that midfield, and you have 2 strikers like Højlund playing a little bit the fox in the box, and then you have the Xerxes as a 9.5 doing the Martial thing, the link up the play, spray it out to the winger, link that. Then I think they would be even more potent. So that might be a tweak it, you know? That might be the solution. So what
do you think of the fact that Ugarte has been put on the bench and hasn't played any minutes for the last 2 games in a row? What do you think of that?
I think that it was more of a club signing, the Ten Hag signing, to be honest, by the looks of it, because the recruitment strategy was to sort of build a team for the future, and he's pivotal to the way they want to play. Maybe he took him off the fire line, but to take him off after 90 minutes to say he was shit, that's not giving the player confidence, right? The first debut. We saw he was giving spells like from the bench, did awesomely well, but then as soon as he gave him a start against FC20 and he had a little bit of a wobbler, he's off, which is weird to me, because why did you I'm sorry. Why did we spend 2 months chasing and negotiating to keep him on the bench?
Exactly.
So that left me a question mark too. Anyway, it is what it is. We don't pick the team elite at all. We're just questioning it, and it doesn't make sense. So what do you want to see now after the international break, my friend? Like, you know, would you like to see a little bit of a system change? Because we've been saying it's unbalanced, like we're shoehorning in Garnacho to the right wing and keeping the proper right winger on the bench just to play the 2 star boys, like, you know what I mean?
I don't know. Like I just said to you, I'm not sure what the fullbacks are doing right now. I don't even know if they're worth playing. All they're doing is defending. They're not contributing anything to the attack. I don't think our problem is defence that much. I know we've conceded a lot of goals, but if we're scoring more goals, it doesn't matter too much. I mean, Sir Alex was used to winning games like, I don't know, 4-2, you know, 5-3, whatever.
Yeah.
I like that brand of football. It's just about we score more goals than you. I'm not interested in like 1-0 Arsenal back in the 80s or Jose Mourinho 1-0 at Chelsea. I'm not interested in that, you know. I want to see my team play with passion and flair, you know.
Craig Warby coming up with a brilliant comment. It's funny we want to flood that midfield with an inverted fullback, but then get played though with 1 passes fullback is out of possession and Rashford is at the top of the pitch. Yes, 100%. That's what I'm saying. It's too complicated. It's like what you want to play the fullback like in the midfield and leaves Leach and De Ligt exposed. Right. So, man, I just want to see good football, man. I agree with you. As I said, possession won't win you games. 100%. Yeah, of course you can bob it around, pass it around, make the opposition chase you. But how many times do we actually dominate possession, right? We brought in Onana to play out of the back, but we haven't seen much of it as of yet. We brought in players in this transfer window that hasn't been given, fair crack of the whip as of yet. So maybe they will come after the international break. Maybe we'll see a different team. Who knows? But something has to change. 100%. A lot of people that I've been speaking to says they don't believe in the system, and I think that players are not happy in the system either. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
I just think that if he carries on doing the same mistakes that he's doing, and when I say mistakes, I mean stupid lineups, stupid substitutions, leaving players out who are on form. Like when Rashford was scoring 3 goals in 2 games,
he took him
out of the game versus Palace. And then when he scored a goal and assisted, he took him off at half time. What sort of message is this?
Yeah, I know.
You know
I know.
what I'm saying?
This confused. That's why I said confused.com. I am confused.com. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah.
So therefore we are very reactionary. It's like, what the hell are you doing, man? Why are you taking out the player that in the first half was a threat?
Yeah.
People were shitting the pants.
Yeah, they were.
Why?
They were.
Why would you?
They couldn't stop Rashford in that first half. Porto didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do. They had 2 defenders on him. It didn't matter. He was getting past them and getting a shot off on goal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then here's the other thing, Mick. He takes off Rashford when he's on form. He drops Rashford when he's on form. But Bruno, who hasn't played 1 good game all season, gets to play every game, regardless of whether he gets sent off 2 times in a row, regardless of his poor form. So can you see why the team is looking at that and thinking, what the F is going on here? It doesn't make sense.
I'm not going to nitpick, but Bruno doesn't look like himself this season. He's knackered. He played the Euros. He's played every single game. He needs a rest. He needs a rest. I agree with you. And it's become a little bit of a liability, 100%. But because a team gets affected by one, I mean, you come as a link, right? You're 11 players on the ping, and everyone needs to be up for the fight. But if you all of a sudden have 2 players that are not up for it, it affects the rest of the team.
Of course it does.
100%.
It's like someone at work being lazy. You have to work hard, but you see 2 people just being lazy and getting away with it. You're going to get pissed.
Yeah, 100% you're going to be pissed. 100%. Be there.
So it just boils down to man management, right? It just boils down to man management. Does he want us to win? If he wants us to win, play the players that are in form and drop the players who are not in form. It's really not that hard. And to use your vape as the rocket, it's not rocket science either.
Exactly, that's facts. What Kat is saying, it's not rocket science. It's like what we said, building the rocket flight to the moon, point A to point B. And it's just simple as that, right? And if the rocket's too heavy, then offload a couple of players, right? And you'll be lighter to fly and win the game. So you're absolutely spot on. Play the players in the right position. Don't shoehorn players in because you have to, because you want to win the crowd over or whatever. No, play your style of brand, like, play to win, right? Play to win, 100%. You come into Unai Emery, Aston Villa, with the mindset that we are not going to concede. We're not going to score. So I think he came in with a draw. That's why he started like Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire and then benched Leach and De Ligt, which didn't make sense to me whatsoever. And the midfield didn't have legs. But it turned out to be very compact because it also gave Rashford disciplinary to cut into the midfield, to overflow that midfield. But if you're then going to overflow that midfield, why don't you just start with the 3-5-2?
Mick, if Villa had not played such a strenuous game against Bayern, they would have probably beaten us easily. okay? Because the lineup that we put out for Villa did not even have one defensive midfielder on the pitch. It had two centre backs who have a combined age of something like 68, right? So if Villa hadn't played Bayern a couple of days before, I'm telling you right now, they would have wiped the floor with us. So we're just lucky that they didn't. But what we should have done is considered that and played to bloody win the game, man. You know?
Yeah. True. The in-game management, if you're Ten Hag, 10, I don't believe you're listening. I think you're in pizza there with your wife. But one thing that we can give you advice, please do better in-game management. Read the room. And if you're 2-0 up, do something to protect that 2-0. We've seen it so many times before, Elite Baller.
Yeah.
You know, it's simple.
Yeah.
You don't have to go and win the game like to kill it off with 3-0. Just protect that lead. And then you can see how it goes. And then do the maths, right? I can argue to the point as well that, like, you know, I think the Garnacho, it's not ready to play every single game. I think Garnacho is the super sub.
Yeah.
You know, so now Rashford is kind of coming into form a little bit. You can see that he's working with the Rude and getting some tricks and points. He's looking sharp, you know, good. I would say that's just okay. Start Ahmad to the right, for fuck's sake. And you have Ahmad and Anton that can play the right wing. And then you have two wingers in Rashford and Garnacho. Start Rashford, and then in the second half, when the fullbacks are ragged, they are tired, throw in the Bull, right? Yeah. The Bull, the Spanish Bull, right? He will kill them 100% because he's so unpredictable. You don't know where he's going to drop a shoulder cut in or drive to the byline. It's very unpredictable. And that is proven a lethal weapon. Whenever we throw him in, when it's 20 minutes left of the game, he comes in and scores. We've seen it so many times.
I'll give you an example, Mick. Remember when we played Southampton, right? Garnacho came on as a sub in the second half. Within a few minutes of him starting playing, one of the Southampton players gets sent off for bringing him down with a ridiculous tackle because he was so tired. He doesn't want to run after him. So he just thinks, F it, you're coming down, you're going down. So yeah, you're spot on about the super sub thing, because what you got to remember about Garnacho is he isn't the biggest, strongest, tallest. He hasn't got a great physique. He's more of a sort of small, agile, speedy player. So there's no point putting him in the game when all the defenders have got their full stamina. Like you said, bring him on when they're tired, and you will see the massive difference in what he can do.
Right now, I don't see him develop much. I think he's regressing a little bit. So yeah, just bring in a hungry Garnacho, like, you know, to finish off the nacho. You know what I mean? Put some cheese on nacho, and that's about it, I think. But at the end of the day, like, you know, everyone, this is a valid fan discussion. Like, we can all sit here and tweak it and improve it, but it comes down to, what are you going to do 10? What are you going to do Rude? What are you going to do Hanke? What are you going to do Iniesta? So that's why we are fan media. Like, you know, we like to talk the club. We want to see us win games. And I'm just afraid, this is my fear though, that he's not going to change anything, that he's just going to come in with the same mentality and keep doing the thing that and then come Christmas, we're going to be sitting there. Like, there's always that PTSD, but there's always that belief, that the delusion in me as well, that romantic to say, shit, we Man United, we can do this. Come on, right? That's the escapism, what I like to, like, you know, when weekend or Europa, Champions League, knowing today's the game, you know, oh, come on, 90 minutes, yes. So that's what we want to see, 100%.
We need to start winning some games, Mick, because the last game that we won was against Barnsley, and we all know that was quite a while ago now, don't we?
I said it once before, Elite Baller. I said it, the cure for this depression is winning.
Yeah, of course it is.
I said it. It is. That's the antidote for everything. As soon as Man United start winning, everyone will be on dopium and endorphins, whatever you copium, whatever you call it. There will be no negativity, right? But as soon as we are bad, we see this instantly great divide, just nitpicking on players, on the managers, on this and that, and arguments. It's constantly on and on and on and on and on. And that is killing me and my mental health as well.
It's very draining, Mick. And I would give advice to anyone who's listening. don't take this too seriously. Okay, it's just a hobby, it's a sport, it's a pastime. Do not let it affect your mood to the point where it ruins your day, it ruins your week, it ruins your month. These people are millionaires. They get paid whether they play or not. They get to go to their mansions and chill out, and they're not thinking about us. So yes, we love the club, but do not let it affect your mentality, because it's not worth it. Spend time with your friends, spend time with your family, enjoy nature, watch movies, listen to music, make music, whatever it is. Just please do not let it affect your mental health. And I really mean that for anyone who's listening.
That's amazing words from you, Elite Baller. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It's the best words I heard from today, because I always say that too. You know, it's football. It's just escaping. It's a game at the end of the day. And these guys are millionaires. We're not. Back in the days, you know what I mean? The players used to rock up, you know, have a cup of tea and have a fag and go out kick ball. Like, they didn't earn lots of money. You know what I mean? It was different. But now it's individual after individual chasing sponsorship contracts. They are getting handsomely paid, and therefore we have the right to criticize as well, right?
Just don't be personal, because at the end of the day, these people are human beings just like we are. The only difference is they get paid a lot of money for doing what they're doing. But I don't think any player wants to do badly. I don't think any player wants to lose. So sometimes we're not going to win. That's just life. But
do you get? Can I ask you one last question? Yeah. This never sits well in my head. I've seen people on Twitter, on socials, that want Man United to lose.
Yeah, of course.
Just to get rid of the manager. And I was like, I mean, you know, are you really a United fan? How do you want your team to lose just because you want your way? You know what I mean? It doesn't really make sense, because I never want my team to lose. Never. Then why am I sitting here watching it week in and week out? Why are I doing watch-alongs? Why are I doing this? Because I want them to lose. Hell no. Make it make sense, mate.
They say, basically what they say is the short-term pain is long-term gain. But I would say a lot of these people are a lot younger than us, Mick. I believe probably you're like me, you're in your mid-40s, right? So you've been watching football for decades now. And obviously you've been
played the game.
Yeah. But you
I was a left winger, by the way.
Oh, nice, like gigs. But yeah, I think we're a bit more patient than the generation of today. I think we're a bit more patient. We don't take things to heart. People can rant and rave all they want. It's not going to change the F all, mate. It's not. Honestly, it's not. What will be, will be, you know?
Que sera. True. What will be, will be. And that's been my point all along. You know, you can watch Saeed, you can watch Adam, you can watch everyone talking, Ten Hag out, Ten Hag this, Ten Hag, you know. At the end of the day, you can rant and scream and shout. Everyone can do that. We don't have the power. We don't make the rules. We don't pick the team. We don't recruit the team. So what's that's going to change, right? And I've been thinking about that. So at the end of the day, if I'm going to start doing that, my mental health's going to go to hell. So I'll just, this season, I told to myself, I'm not going to get that emotionally involved. I'm just going to take it game by game, and whatever it would be. But of course, it hasn't been nice football. It's been like a pre-season so far. But there's a romantic in me that still thinks that, shit, we got to turn this around. You can't go a whole season without winning games. It ain't possible. It's like the Newton's law of gravity. Like, you know, what comes up must come down. And currently we're down and we've got to go up.
I was saying yesterday, look, things are going to get better. We're not going to get relegated, okay? Things will get better. Whether it's with this manager, which I doubt, or it's with Ruud van Nistelrooy, which I'm in favour of, or it's with a totally different manager. Things will get better, and you have to experience the lows to fully appreciate the highs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And we can finish on with a song, a karaoke song. Things will only get better. Will only get better. You know that song?
Of course I do, yeah.
Of course you do. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, it's been amazing. 2 hours and 12 minutes anticipated. Jarvis was here Jarvis lost his Wi-Fi, but we have a Jarvis number 2, Elite Baller. Thank you for bringing your words of wisdom. We got to close the shop. We had some beautiful people in here. We see Richie Sports is in here as well. Big up, Richie. How you doing? Had lots of hobbies. Need to do some suggestions. Like you wrote earlier that you were playing guitar. Kat is here to say also, United TV. Yes, the goals dried up though. The players at the moment, but I like this drive and attitude to take them ball on and run forward. I think the Garnacho work well together. They can only get better. Like, you know, you got to tweak it. That's got to, you know, I believe we're going to win games. I believe that we're going to go on a winning streak, but it's not going to be easy. I believe, and that is my personal belief, right? I'm not going to sit here like to say we're going to lose the rest of the 7 games. So what's the point of them being, you know, going out there kicking the ball? Like, you might as well give walkovers, right?
This is it. All we can do is just keep the faith. Hopefully things get better. Like I said, don't let it affect your life. But
look, if you and me go in a boxing ring and you're bigger than mine, you know, I'm going to figure a way that I'm going to beat you in my way. You might be bigger, but I have a little bit of a tactic, right? So if I'm going in with this mentality that I'm going to lose, then definitely I'm going to fucking be losing because you're going to knock me out. But I got to figure out how I'm going to knock you out. You know what I mean? True.
That's it.
Yeah. So, like boxing, football, boxing is like 12 rounds. Premier League has got like 38, 40 games, right? So we're just in run. Technically speaking.
Is the next game the Fenerbahce game? Is that right?
Yeah. Fenerbahce, Jose. 3
I think that's a massive game. I think if we don't win that game, I think there's going to be immense pressure on the manager because that will be 3 Europa League games that we haven't won.
100% it will be. Anyway, we got 65 likes and over 600 watching according to my stats now. You've been sticking with us. Big up. So, can we get those likes up? Please. I don't know why we're not getting more than 100 likes. It doesn't really matter because we're here on the platform for everyone to have a voice and an opinion. It's been beautiful talking to you, Elite Baller. Beautiful VR room, beautiful Jarvis, but it's time to say goodbye. And we will be back with Mental United next episode. And Matt, what's your plan for the rest of the evening? Chill, kick back, watch some TV show?
Not too much more. I've got a busy day tomorrow, so I won't be up too much longer, bro. But yeah, I just want to say it's been a pleasure talking to you. I appreciate you inviting me on, and I appreciate you promoting.
Anyone can come in and have a say. Anyone.
Of course they can. Yeah.
I know somebody that's gonna get a call from the police. He's just learning the drums. He's gonna bang the drums now in the middle. Richie, big up to you. Anyway, just go out, eat some steam. It's international break, whatever. Forget about football for a while. Just spend time with your family and do a hobby, whatever. Things that you don't normally do. That helps. Go for a walk, go to the gym, get your frustration out. That's the best thing you can do. Big up Elite Baller, great show with Greg Warby saying big up for everyone that's tuning in. We had legends in the house, like you seen Yalma and Cat as well with beautiful comments. Craig Warby, we saw earlier as well. Mr. B was in the house. Dav17, United TV, Luan France, big up to you as well. Cat, DJ Superfly, the legends in the house. And we have, who else did we have here? We even had, oh, I missed Rashmina. Yeah. Anyway, guys, time to close the shop. For me, it's 5:52 a.m. in the morning. Can you believe it?
You take care, Mick. You take care of yourself, my brother, all right?
Yeah. All right. Peace. Thank you, Elite Baller. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe as per usual. Tell people about this brilliant podcast and share it on Twitter. Share it. Sharing is caring. You know what to do. You know what to do. We'll be back to next time. And until then, like and subscribe. And remember, glory, glory, Man United. Peace.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.